Welcome back, guys. So this is the next video on the series of videos on gravitation. So in the past videos I have been talking about the series of topics on gravitation, starting from what is gravitation and so on. So in this video I'll be explaining about a new concept. Now you have put the conservation of energy in mechanics and conservation of energy you have applied in rotational motion. So now you are well versed with conservation of energy. I have taught you with many sums. If you are not watched those videos, I invite you to watch those, because it will be important to keep up a flow in the videos. So I have mentioned you about the momentum of objects, the conservation of momentum, energy of objects, and the conservation of energy, and so on with the movements of objects, both in translational motion or linear motion and in rotational motion. Now how can we apply the conservation of energy for an object which is under some gravitational field or which is under gravity? So let's take a simple example, right? I'll take the Earth's surface to be like this. Earth's surface to be like this, and I'll have some mass here. I call that m. Call that m, and I'll project this with a velocity v. Right, velocity v. So this is the ground level. This is the ground level. Right, ground level. So I'll take some point here to be the infinity. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, now you can actually draw a point of infinity, right? You can actually draw it. So I'll just take a point, right? You can actually draw a surface line, say about 10 meters above the Earth's surface. You can actually draw that. So what you do is you can just take a surface, right? Take a point to denote that surface, to represent that surface, right? So I'll take this point to be the infinity, right? So what I need to find is the velocity of this object at infinity. Alright, so I'll take this object to be moving under gravity like this. And when it comes here, I'll assume that this mass has a velocity v. Sorry, v dash, right? Or here v1 and here v2. It would be better. Here v1 and here v2 would be better, right? So what I need to find is the what is v2 here, right? v2 is what? Alright, so in order to, now you know from mechanics that in order to apply the conservation of energy, the conservation of mechanical energy here, that means the mechanical energy, what I mean is there's no rotational kinetic energy, the addition or the summation of kinetic energy and potential energy. So in order to put the conservation of energy or conservation of mechanical energy, you need to know whether there's an external force that is that acts as a disturbance to stop this object, or that there's an external force that acts as a support to this object, or anything, whether there's an external force acting in this scenario. Now I'll take this point to be A here, surface to be A, and this surface to be B. So A is at ground level and B is at infinity. So I'll take the velocity v1. So what it actually happens is that I can put the conservation of energy from A to B, taking the motion from A to B. Alright. So what it actually happens is that the kinetic energy at position A, K E A plus P E A, or the potential energy at point A, should be equal to the kinetic energy at point B plus the potential energy at point B. So this is from the conservation of energy. So this is a very simple equation. You may have known it already by now in rotational motion and mechanics, as I told before. So this is a simple thing. What you have to do is we have to find the velocity at this point, right? Alright. So the kinetic energy of this object at point A is half times its mass m times the square of the velocity at that point. So that is v1 square. And this is now the potential energy at that point is m times g times r. So r is actually the radius, right? R is actually the radius of the earth. Now if the earth is like this, if the earth is like this, and the radius of the earth is like this, and the object is like this, and we are projecting with velocity v1 and its mass is m, and it goes to this point with v2 and its mass remains the same. So this is the scenario I'm talking about, although I draw it like a flat surface, right, a linear surface, actually we are denoting the ground level over the earth's surface. So the distance between the center of the earth and this object, if you think this object to be of minimal radius, you can calculate, you don't need to take the radius of this object. So you can take that the distance between the center of mass and the center of mass of the small object, center of mass of the earth and the center of mass of the small object is equal to the radius of the earth. So that is equal to r. So the potential energy is actually, sorry, this is minus mgr, right? Minus mgr, because we know that from the theory of potential energy, gravitational potential energy, that the potential energy is always negative because the energy is actually the work is done by the external field or the gravitational field of the earth, not by the object, right? So the potential energy, as I mentioned in the last or before last video, I can't exactly remember that, but I told you as to why this happens, right? Why this is minus. Normally we put it as plus, but in gravitation what we will do is that we take that the work is totally done by the gravitational field. So since the work is not done by the object and it is done by the external agent of the gravitational field here, the potential energy should be minus. Alright, so that I explained in the last video. Alright, one of the last videos, right? So the kinetic energy will be half mv2 square. The mass is constant. And as I mentioned in the last video, at infinity the potential energy is 0. Now what if now this is the equation that you will be getting for V2. You can solve it if you were given mv1, g and r, you can solve it for V2. Now what happens when V2 is equal to 0? So that is the basis of this video. That is the basis. That is what I am going to do in this video. That's my intention in this video. So what happens when V2 is 0? V2 is 0 is now this part is 0. This part is 0 means this part here half times m times v1 square minus mgr is equal to 0. So m is not equal to 0. So you can take v1 is equal to root of 2 times g times r. So r being the radius of the earth, v1 is equal to 2 times g times r. So what happens now? This is the condition when v2 is equal to 0. v2 is equal to 0 means that this object, right? This object has 0 velocity at the infinity. Now, if you go before the infinity, now if you select a number scale like this, right? If you select a number scale like this, now this is the point of infinity. This is the point of infinity. I'll mark this as infinity. If an object has mass, velocity here, v, I'll take it as v. If an object has v, in which v is positive and greater than 0, right? Positive means greater than 0, right? Right? Oh, sorry, no, not equal, right? Not equal. Actually, v is greater than 0, right? Equal is another concept. I will explain it after explaining this concept. Now, if the object has a positive velocity, that means that the object still has some acceleration in this direction. This object still has an acceleration in this direction. Actually, a deceleration, right? The gravity is acting down. The gravity is like this, acting down at deceleration. But the object has some velocity at this point. That means there should be now the object. If it is at infinity, if it has some velocity, the object will continue to move in this direction. Now, infinity is the maximum point from one surface that an object can go. Now say if you are projecting an object from the earth's surface, infinity is the maximum point at which the earth can hold this object, right? Infinity is the maximum point at which the atmosphere can hold this object. So if an object has a non-zero positive velocity at infinity, that means that this object still climbs up. Still climbs up means now this is the maximum range. This is the maximum. This is the range that the Earth can. This is the range that the Earth can hold this object. Now, if it has some velocity v, that means that this object will go out of Earth's hold, right? Go out of Earth's hold means this will simply be out of the Earth. So that is the velocity needed by this object to get rid of Earth's gravitational acceleration. So this is the minimum. So if v is equal to 0, if v is equal to 0, that means this object has zero velocity at this point. That means at infinity there's no velocity in the forward direction. The velocity is 0, means that the object will return back to Earth at after going to infinity, just at the limit. This is very similar to the friction concept, right? Very similar to the friction concept, the static friction, the limiting friction, and the kinetic friction that I explained in the videos of frictional videos, right? Friction, concept of friction. So that is actually not necessary. I just mentioned about the concept in order to explain it to you. This is very similar to friction, right? If an object the force of an object is increased, its friction will increase, but it has a maximum magnitude that it can take, and that is called the limiting friction. And beyond that, the object will start to move, right? So that is very similar like this. An object will have some velocity. So if the velocity at infinity is 0, right, it is just like the limiting occasion, right? But unlike the limiting occasion of friction, here when the velocity is 0, the gravity is still acting downwards, so the object will fall under gravity. So if the velocity is not 0, that is very similar to the kinetic friction, when the force is greater than the frictional force, right? So the velocity, if the velocity of this object is not 0, the object will start to move in that direction. So that is also similar to the kinetic friction. When the applied force is greater than the frictional force, the object will move in the direction of the applied force. So that is also similar to this concept. So if v is equal to 0, so that is the limiting occasion, and the object will fall down under gravity. So if v is not equal, v is less than 0, v is less than 0 means v is minus. What is meant by v is minus? Because v is a vector. V is minus means v has some negative velocity in this direction, means we will achieve 0. We will achieve 0 before this point of infinity. We will achieve 0 somewhere here, right? Somewhere here or anywhere, right? V is minus means v is at infinity. If you are taking v to be minus at infinity, that means the object has already returned along the path it went up. So the object is now falling under gravity. So the minimum velocity to escape infinity is the velocity when v is equal to 0. That was found here. v1 equals root 2gr. v1 equals root 2gr. So that is the velocity that is needed for an object to get rid of not only the Earth, any surface's attraction. So that is a special concept, and that is commonly called the escape velocity. So welcome to the topic of escape velocity. Alright, so escape velocity is the minimum velocity needed by an object to get rid of the attraction in which it was holding until the object got rid of until this object went to this infinity. Now say earth ball system. If you take an earth ball system, the ball will have an acceleration in this direction, but at infinity it's the maximum point at which the Earth can hold, and if it has some velocity, that using that velocity the object will get rid of the Earth's attraction, right? So if it has zero velocity, it will return back to the Earth. Alright, so when it has zero velocity means it's the limiting occasion, or it's the minimum velocity that is needed for an object to get rid of the Earth's space. If you increase the velocity by even a decimal point, even a fraction, this object will get rid of the Earth's surface. So Earth's attraction. So what actually happens is the velocity v1 equals root 2gr, in which r is the radius of the Earth, is the minimum velocity at which an object should be projected from the Earth's surface in order to get rid of the Earth's attraction at infinity. So v1 is called the escape velocity of this object. Now you may be wondering as to how some hydrogen is present on the Earth, but nitrogen is present on the earth, but hydrogen is not present in the earth's atmosphere. So that's very simple. Then from this concept, right, you may have wondered until now. So that's very simple. You can explain simply from this concept that when the escape velocity is greater than, now v1 equals 2gr is, now this is a common equation. So if you take the radius of the earth, you can calculate the escape velocity for an object, right? Escape velocity for an object of any mass. So it's independent of the mass, independent of the density, or independent of any other physical or chemical characteristics. It's only dependent on the radius of the earth, right? So this is common to any mass. If you throw a ball, if you throw even a gun, right, but it will not go such a long distance. But if you even throw a heavy rock, right, rock means pebble or something like that, it will reach the minimum velocity. That it should, the v1 equals root 2gr is the minimum velocity that should be at which an object should be projected to get rid of the earth's attraction. So it's independent of the mass, independent of the shape or any other physical or chemical characteristic. So if the velocity of the object is greater than root 2gr, then this object will get rid of the earth's surface. That means this object will not be present at the earth's surface. So that's the simple explanation for the absence of hydrogen and the presence of nitrogen. So you can explain that hydrogen is not in the earth's atmosphere because the escape velocity of hydrogen is greater than the minimum escape velocity that is required, that is intended by the earth. So since the velocity of a hydrogen molecule at its projection is greater than the escape velocity, hydrogen is absent from the earth or is not present on the earth. But for nitrogen, the velocity is less than the escape velocity of the earth, the minimum escape velocity. So nitrogen remains in the earth. So this is the topic of escape velocity as I discussed in this video. So in the next video I will be talking about the motion of objects, motion of planets and motion of satellites. And thanks for watching this video, and see you then.